Today on the MMB update, we will take a look at the upcoming schedule for future videos, like Legendology Part 1, HTF Survivor Episode 3, Amnesia Episode 4 and more. Also, 9 update videos have come and gone, and now we are at the 10th update. We'll cover the original inspirations for the previous 9 videos, including the 3 before this channel took off. Also, we'll discuss the future of the HTF Fanon community, including exclusive footage of the recent HTF Fracture trailer. And last, we'll discuss the future of the GX03 series after the production of Prologue Part 5. All this and more starts when MMB Update 10 starts, right now. Well, it's been a long road to success, but this is the 10th update. Before we begin, at one point around this time, I had 360 subscribers, which I found a funny coincidence, because that number is used for the second Xbox console, known as the Xbox 360, which I have the black version that came with the unsuccessful Kinect motion detector, which was absolutely terrible. But now, I have 362 subscribers. Also, check out San the Little Merce. San means Mr. Miss in English. He just started doing HTF content. But enough about that, let's get to the first story, which is the recent trailer of Fracture, along with discussing Ash iTunes episode Tornado. First, the DeviantArt account for Ash iTunes, Capture and Legacy, it released an art. He wanted to change the HTF Fanon logo since a situation that happened with Snowers, replacing the shadow head of Snowers with the head of his own OC, Ashy. The reason I brought this up is that I wanted to create my own version of this logo, and that is the head of my OC, Brandon Germain. Looking at the poster, you can see the plot right away. The city suffered devastation as a F5 tornado strikes the city. Speaking of tornadoes, do you guys think this plot is similar to the TLN art The Perfect Storm? Well, the poster did have the hunters in a tornado. We also saw a AS tornado warning in the actual trailer. This was only the tones though. The actual warning bit will be used in Part 3 of Scaggle's Nightmare, Beginning of the Terror, which Part 1 releases October 31st, along with Amnesia 4, but more on that later. Now, for the recent trailer for Fracture, it seems like I'll have to split the frames for this. So, from the footage, Flippy is seen walking around a white void. He then sees a grayscale version of Nutty with no pupils. He then reaches his arm out and Flippy grabs it, as the color returns to him. A whole bunch of other things happen, as Nutty tells him that he's the chosen one. We then flash to this series Nutty, as it appears this whole thing was just a dream, as he appears to be in a padded room, you know, like the one seen in the False Alarm episode. The episode title appears along with the series title and a message saying this is coming soon. This trailer gives me a similar comparison from the song Same Old War, by Our Last Night. I wouldn't be surprised if this would be the theme for the TV version of Fracture's universe. Also, the whole You're the Chosen One stick was already done in Wishogi, the FOB art from 2009, which also was made for MMC, just without the magic, and more of the violence, gore and post-apocalyptic themes MMC is known for. Yes, I did rip that out of the trailer, deal with it. Also, the description roughly translates to Flippy makes a deal with Nutty to use him as a carrier, but what he doesn't know is that he has only condemned himself to continue with the same. Again, bringing the idea of a Full Metal Alchemist MMC series to a wrap. Speaking of MMC, the schedule of future projects are as followed. Since Part 1 of Scaggle's Nightmare was produced for Halloween, I decided to release Amnesia Part 4 along with it, as a bonus, since I told user Bullenjul that I was working on it, and it's done as of right now. For other series, HTF Survivor Episode 3 is the next marker on my list of episodes to produce, followed by Legendology Part 1, GX03 Prologue Part 5, GX0 Episode 2, Midnight Hour Episode 2, and Scaggle's Nightmare Parts 2 and 3. For projects done but not uploaded, MMC Cross HTF Episode 8 will be released in November, as Break 1 will be released in September. Future Character History Episode 2 will be released after HTF Survivor Episode 2 releases, due to me not wanting to reveal any spoilers. Fast Forward Part 2 and Final Encounter Part 5 are also on my to-do list, since Part 4 is already done but not uploaded. Also, Episode 1 for both GX01 and GX02 are under development. Now, what will happen to GX03 after Prologue Part 5? Well, since the prologue episode for the French arc for Harmony is close to being done, like about 75%, the trailers for Arc 1 for GX03, along with a special epilogue episode for the prologue of GX03, called The Crisis of Cheyenne Miller, which will serve as the episode 1 of the Ultimate Frenzy arc, will begin development. Also, you may be asking, what will happen to funny Windows errors? Well, the second half of Season 1, the Shamrock arc, will begin development as soon as I find a good plotline to start the arc. But this next news will be the biggest of them all. The main antagonist from MMC3, Atom Bomb, will be the main antagonist for this arc, because I wanted it to be a very important arc. Also, the fact that the cancelled HTF comic called Shamrock by Tweakley had a similar plot, but she lost inspiration for the comic and just deleted the whole goddamn thing. However, her art's undercover and flippy, as well as her Fraction of Time, inspired the idea for the Fractured Universe series. Also, the fact that she got harassed about continuing it over and over again. People keep messaging her saying when is part 2 coming out. And this message was thrown at her non-stop. She's put up signs telling them not to bother about the comic, and people still didn't listen. But this was in July 20th, 2011, at a time where Armando was still producing HTF episodes. Also, the first page is 13 goddamn years old, releasing on March 25, 2010. She was completely done with the toxic community and just left inadvertently after the post telling everyone to stop bothering her about the comic. So, to recap, the arc is named after a comic that was discontinued after part 1. A character that hasn't been seen since 2012 is the main antagonist, and the arc will be more dramatic than the previous arc featuring Frenzar. Episode 7 will be released in September, on the 20th. Now, since this is the 10th update, I would like to look back at the 9 previous updates and tell you what was said. So, Update 1 was released January 4, 2017, and it discussed new series ideas, such as logo histories, logo compos, my custom compos and real ones, toy reviews, like what Ninja and Ball Matrix are currently doing, and Logo Tube, which was my own version of the logo evolution video CCG88 and others do. It was previously a logo compilation, which was back when I used the YT video editor before it was shut down September 20th of the year, so I had to readjust to new programming. Update 2 featured my wonderful yet cringy voice. Released May 22, 2018, it talked about my future endeavors, as well as my life experiences, including my first football game that I helped out with, and that girl fight I saw one day, as well, a dead link in the description, and what was part 4 of the top 30 film and TV logos, which has been done for a long while now. Update 3 was created using the Animatica program along with Paint. At the time, which was August 19, 2018, I had 59 subscribers. Now I have 5 times as many subscribers. I also got my new PC, my HP Stream at the time that was released. But now I'm using the Dell I had to get when the HP was in the shop at one point during 2020. I also talked about in R2003, wanting to join YouTubers like Griffdog and Grey Speed Productions, formerly Sonic Krell's 831. I also announced part 5 of the top 30 film and TV logos, which wasn't produced until after Update 4 is released. It was my first trick into the animation world, and that would change a lot for Update 4, which was released November 3rd of 2020, and it was my first TTS video. I discussed my troubles at OCC scheduling for the spring 2021 semester, epic logo countdowns, top 30 TV and film logos, top 10 release dates, and the reveal of the GX03 series, including the old frames from part 2. It also featured my old look, which was changed for Update 5. I discussed about my 2021 mid-semester update, and updated the 2021 Thanksgiving special, which I've talked about the Chicago Bears' rival, Detroit Lions, who fired Matt Petricka and hired Dan Campbell, who helped the Lions reach new horizons. I also revealed part 2 of GX03's prologue, as well as my new era HTF form, which would be used up until Update 9, where this format came from. Update 6 was a low-effort update, but had my voice, and it was not low effort, it was a throwback to Update 2. Released June 2, 2021, I discussed my transition from OCC to Oswego State, which ended in disaster by the way, but it was because of too much stress, not being expelled, because of a very bad reason. It was a dropout, not an expulsion. I also told everyone about the MMC Wiki. I also talked about my recent and future releases. At the end of the episode, I did a voice preview for characters that would debut in episode 4 of MMC Cross HTF. Update 7 was based on a project I had to do a Oswego about former Rutgers QB Ryan Hart, and the fake release for the NCAA football games by EA Sports. It was released on my 21st birthday. Also, that Cowboys Thanksgiving special that was my last NFL related video. Well, until I cover the Cardinals prior and after Super Bowl 43 for this year's special update. It was released June 20 of 2022. I had a mistake with my uploading of Prologue Part 3, as well as ideas for future projects, like MMC Cross HTFL Cursed and that MMC version of Welcome to HTF Land by Stick 62,633. Also, I had the NHL 2001 song called Set Orbit by Rumdil Prisvo. The song being in MMC would be nice, but I'm not sure about that. Now, Update 9, as you all may know, was an ML grooming scandal video, or at least, my take on it. It had a lot of popular comments and has over 175 views. I also had short updates about my PC being broken, but those don't count. So yeah, that will just about do it for my rambling. But before I log off, I would like to say that the next video I will begin to produce will be related to Happy Tree Friends, HTF Land Chronicles, and Levantology. I will see you guys later.